Welcome back, adventurers. If you're diving into the immersive world of Skyrim VR and want to take your experience to the next level, you've come to the right place. Now, last week we walked through setting up Mod Organiser 2 for modding Skyrim VR, but we know that that's just one path of modding to greatness. Today, we're focusing on an alternative that's very popular because of its simplicity and ease of use: Vortex. Now, over the last week, I have had a lot of comments saying that they would like to see the same guide but done through Vortex instead of Mod Organiser 2, so here we are. In this video, I'll guide you step by step on how to use Vortex to mod your Skyrim VR setup. Now, whether you're looking to enhance graphics, tweak gameplay mechanics, or just to dive into new content, by the end, you'll have all the tools you need to transform Tamriel into your dream VR experience. So, let's get started. Now, the first step to this video is to subscribe to my channel and to like this video. And of course, if you have any questions, please drop a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, I would always recommend starting with a fresh installation of Skyrim and without any previous mods which may cause conflicts. And I would recommend installing Skyrim VR on your fastest drive, be it an SSD or an M.2. And once you've done that, make sure you run Skyrim VR at least once so that the game can create all the background files required for modding. You just need to go into the menu, and once in the menu, you can close the game. And next we're going to head straight over to Nexus, and we are going to make sure that we have a login and an account. And once we do, we're going to search for Vortex and we're going to download it. If we hit manual download, you'll see two prerequisites. One is to have Windows 10 or 11, and one is to have the .NET Framework 6.0. So download the .NET Framework and download Vortex, and we're going to install both, starting with the .NET Framework. Now, with the .NET Framework installed, I'm going to delete the installer because I don't need it anymore, and I'm going to head over to the Vortex installer and I'm going to install that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm installing Vortex in the Z drive. That's going to be the Z drive for me because that's where I have installed Skyrim VR. Always make sure that it's in the same drive that you've installed Skyrim VR, and as I said before, make sure it's installed in your fastest drive, your SSD, if possible, an M.2. And once that's done, we're going to head over to Silverlock and download SKSE. We're going to be downloading the VR version. Make sure that you get the right version or this step will not work. Again, links will be in the description of this video. And once you've downloaded the SKSE VR, go to it in your downloads folder, right click it and extract here. Now, the next thing we want to do is to drag all the files extracted into our Skyrim install folder. So we're going to go over to our game in Steam, we're going to right click it, and then we're going to go over to properties, and from properties we're going to go to installed files, and in installed files we're going to choose browse, and that's going to take us to where our executable is. Now, from this folder we're going to go over to the SKSE which we've just extracted, and we're going to drag all of these files right over here. Now, it might say, do you want to replace anything? If it does, push yes. Now we have successfully installed the Skyrim script extender. You can delete the download files now, you won't need them anymore. If you need a more in-depth guide on installing SKSE, check out my channel, I posted one last month. On to the next step. Now, for the next step, we are going to launch Vortex and we're going to make sure that we are managing Skyrim VR. So select games and then select Skyrim VR. Now from here, if we go to the dashboard, you should see Skyrim script extender over here. But if you don't, push the plus button and you'll see SKSE. Now, SKSE is there because we've already dragged the files into the folder before. However, if it's not, you can directly select it this way. Just push the plus button, name it SKSE, and then find it inside the folder where your Skyrim executable is. That's the same folder where we dragged SKSE in earlier. So here I am, I'm going through to Steam Apps, Common, I'm going to find Skyrim VR, and here I can see the SKSE loader. If I choose that, I can push next, and now I have SKSE installed. Now here's a common error which happens if you've previously installed Vortex on your machine. You need a folder in which your mods can be launched from. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that up now. Now this is automatically set me to this area in settings, but I'm going to show you from the dashboard. From the dashboard, if I go to settings, I can see this mods tab, and I need to set a folder, and I'm going to set it in the Z drive. That's where I've got my game installed. That's where I've got Vortex installed. I'm going to make a folder in here, and I'm going to name it Vortex Mods. And that's where all my mods are going to be installed. Make sure it's on the same drive, and also make sure it's never installed in your program files. Push apply on both, and you are all good to start installing mods. Don't panic, guys. This is unlikely to happen to you, but if it does, this is how you fix it. And it is at this stage that I recommend you test out Vortex and make sure everything is working thus far. So get your headset, connect to Steam VR. You can see it's running in the background there. And with Steam VR running, push play in the top left corner of Vortex, push next, and get into the game. And by doing so, we're just going to make sure that the script extender is correctly installed. And if that is the case, if the game runs, if it doesn't crash, guess what? You are ready to start adding mods. So that's what we're going to do next. Now the best way to install mods for this game is to head over to Nexus Mods to log into your account. Doesn't have to be premium. Is to select Skyrim Special Edition. Don't forget Special Edition is for VR. And then to select the most popular of all time. Here you're going to get the most endorsed mods, the best mods. This is where I like to get my mods. Now the way I like to do it is to right click each mod that I want to download and open it in a new tab. USSEP is an excellent mod. It's an unofficial patch and it fixes lots of bugs, and it also is a prerequisite for a lot of mods which we are going to download. All you need to do is hit the Vortex button and it will automatically install it in your Vortex application. This is why Vortex is such a loved application, because it's as easy as that. If there is a prerequisite on any of these downloads, make sure that you have them installed as well, or else those mods won't work. Now there are a couple mods which you absolutely have to have, and we're going to go through them shortly. You're going to need to download SkyUI and make sure that you download the VR version. This is also a prerequisite for a lot of mods, and it makes your UI absolutely amazing. Once this is downloaded, we're going to head over to the next mods. The next mod, which is absolutely essential, is the VRIK mod. That's going to make sure you are no longer a floating pair of hands and you're going to actually have a body. Awesome for immersion. After that, what we need to download is the Higgs mod. The Higgs mod helps us interact with objects and to actually bump into things and pick things up properly. Really important. And then we're going to download Plank last. We're going to download all of these mods in that order because Higgs is a prerequisite for Plank. So let's install them now. Just hit the Vortex button and it's as easy as that. Here you can see the prerequisites that we need, but we've already got both of those, so just hit download. We're going to head over to Higgs. Once again, push the Vortex button and it's going to download. And last but not least, we're going to go over to Plank and we're going to hit the Vortex button and it's going to download. You're going to see on Plank that it requires Higgs, but we've just installed Higgs, so we're all fine. All of these mods are the mods that I would always download no matter what playthrough I am playing. They will help us interact with our environment, they'll help us interact with other players, they will change all of the physics, allow us to pick things up, allow us to have arms, allow us to be so much more immersed in our environment. Make sure you have these mods before you download any other mods. Alright guys, now with those mods installed, we are gonna have a quick test play. So let's jump in and have a look at what we have. Have a look at that. That's SkyUI. All of our items are neatly packed and perfect. Look at that. We've got a pair of arms and I dropped my dagger and quickly flicked it into my hands. Look at that. That's the Higgs mod. It is absolutely awesome. And as you can see, I now have collisions, so that's the plank mod. Everything collides, everything works perfectly. And again, I just put the dagger into my backpack by lifting it over my shoulder and dropping it there. Time to fight the bandit outlaw, and check this out. I can shield bash him. How awesome is that? And my sword actually hits him. It doesn't just clip through him. This is good fun. However, there's a lot more fun to be had, guys. So stay tuned for some honorable mentions and some mods I would highly recommend. So here we are back in Nexus mods. We're gonna go to games and we're gonna select Skyrim Special Edition. We're gonna head over to popular of all time and we are gonna choose some mods. Calente's Beautiful Bodies adds much better realistic bodies, especially for the females. There's Apocalypse, which adds hundreds of new spells. Ordinator, which adds loads of new perks to your perks tree. There's Static Mesh Improvements, which makes the static mesh much more beautiful and much more realistic. There's Quality World Map, which completely revamps your world map. There are tons of mods which I would highly recommend. Have a look through them, and always make sure that you download the prerequisites. If we scroll on to the next page, we have enhanced blood textures. We have realistic water too, which makes the water much more realistic looking. We have alternate start mods. That's gonna help skip you past that really boring cart ride in the beginning of the game. Last but not least, guys, very important, you need an enhanced light and FX mod, and you need the Noble Skyrim Mod HD 2K mod. That mod is going to increase all of the textures in the game to 2K, which is going to really make a huge difference and make everything look so much better. Apart from that, guys, this has been how you install mods using Vortex. Please let me know any of your favorite mods in the comments section. I really do hope that this has been helpful. If it has been, please do consider liking and subscribing. It helps my channel out. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.